In this video, I do an unboxing of the Blood and Plunder 2-player starter set. But before we get into today's video, just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of March of 2023, we have this $50 credit towards Terrainify. They provide STL files for terrain. They can also print them out for you and can also paint and flock them. We have two $25 credits from LV427. Also use my channel discount code to get 20% off of your first order. We have this printed and painted Highlands Rebellion Outpost from DecoQuest, along with two all-in pledges for the Highlands Rebellion Kickstarter. We have this 10-watt diode Jacoda laser. Also, we have $100 going towards this month's crowdfunder, which my Patreon supporters are currently voting upon. Use the link below to go to my Patreon page to find out how you can get in on that. Now, I did not back the Kickstarter for this starter set, but instead I did a pre-order through Miniature Market, expecting for this to arrive actually an entire year before this. I remember being excited about playing this game at Adepticon back in 2022. I did not end up going to Adepticon this year, but I remember thinking that I would have this game in time to be able to paint up my factions and to be able to go and play at the tournament. Now, unfortunately, due to many delays and all of the supply chain issues from COVID, this was delayed quite a bit, I think over a year and a half. So I have finally received my starter set, and it doesn't come with any of the expansions that was part of the Kickstarter. So I'm going to go ahead and do an unboxing. Now, Firelock Games, that does produce Blood and Plunder, they've been around for a while, and for the most part, this has been a successful game. I think a lot of people like playing it. I did have an opportunity to play last year's Adepticon and really like the game. But one of the things that I didn't like about it was that most of the miniatures were metal, and I prefer to play with plastic miniatures. Also, this starter set comes with two smaller ships. Now, I did 3D print out two ships from printable scenery, created a whole video, so go ahead and make sure you check it out here. But in anticipation of this game, I printed out those larger ships, hoping to be able to play using this rule set. This is going to be a relatively quick video because there isn't a ton in this box. Plus, I don't think I'm going to have time to assemble any of the miniatures, but I'm basically going to show what comes in the starter box. Now, I will provide some links below with some other videos that show you how the gameplay works if you're interested in that, but I think this is currently available now at retail. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing. Alright, so this box is relatively large, and let's see what is included in here. We have a map, both a sea map as well as an outdoor map. It's pretty big actually, so this can get you started. I did purchase my own sea mat from Fat Mats, which was in my video showcasing the printable scenery ships. But here are some instructions. Looks like there are multi-part miniatures. And wow, there is a ton of pieces. Oh, okay, these are all the options. All right, this isn't all the pieces you need to put together. But looks like you have a lot of customization that you can do. Here are the bases. And you know what? I might, because these miniatures are so small, I might actually glue some pennies underneath here just to give them a little bit more heft and weight, or maybe some washers, because now that they're not metal miniatures, they're going to be especially light. And I like my minis to have some heft to them. I wonder if this is one of the captains. Okay, so these are sprues, and my guess is, yes, the sloop is included, and I wonder if, I think the two sloops are identical to each other. So we'll see. And it looks like on each sprue there are 6 figures, possible figures, and these look identical. And then here is the sloop model. Wow. And then here are some cannons, which is awesome. But you're only getting, let's see, 12 models total on each side. So let's set this aside. Let's open up this one. I'm curious to see if it's the same sprues, basically. So let's compare this one. Yes, these are exactly identical. So the minions are pretty much the same, and I think you just pose them differently, or you might kit them out with different weapons and then paint them up differently so that you can see which faction they're a part of. Now, one of my Patreon supporters, he's really big. He's the one who got me into Blood and Plunder, and he pretty much said that you can sort of mix and match the soldiers because they pretty much didn't necessarily all wear the same colors, but it was more of a smorgasbord of different colors. So we'll see. I haven't quite figured out how I wanted to paint up my factions here. So inside of here there are the sloop traits, and both of them are identical, even though the name is different based off of the faction they're part of. It looks like they are different points. Yeah, it looks like this one has a top speed of 5 inches, whereas this one has 4. So you are getting different upgrades as well. So even though the model is exactly the same, it does look like they are different in terms of their stats. Also, you have the two leaders of the two factions. You have Robert Maynard, who is part of the British Royal Navy, and then you have Blackbeard. And I know they have an expansion where they have a number of other pirates that are available to play. Here are the cards that you use. One side for Blackbeard, one side for Maynard. And these are just simple D10s, so it is based off of rolling D10. So if you have your own D10s, you can use that. Here are all of the tokens. This is the template for your ships. Ruler here. This is facing north, wind, or not north, but whatever direction that the wind is blowing. And these are just features. Of course, I'm going to use my 3D trees instead of these. And then here is the soft cover rulebook. Let's go ahead and open this up. And Firelock Games does have a multi-video tutorial on how to play. I think they did make a few rule changes. I'm not 100% sure about that, but the video tutorials, though, are close enough that I think they're a good way to learn about the rules. And then there's whole ship battles, which is what I'm most interested in, but I probably will start off learning the land battles first, because that's a little bit easier before I add. So here's some painting schemes. I think they should be relatively easy to paint up using my quick painting method. So that's the rule book. I think that's it. I think this is the inside. Yep, there's nothing else inside. So this is a huge box, but that is all of the contents. So there you go. That is what is in the Blood and Plunder 2-player starter set. I think this is a fantastic deal to get started in Blood and Plunder because it gives you everything that you need in order to play, and you can go ahead and purchase some of the expansions. Again, there are a number of expansion boxes for more miniatures, and you can paint them up in whatever faction that you want. So I think this is a great deal for getting into Blood and Plunder. Also, the fact that they have plastic models now instead of the metal miniatures makes it an additional bonus to be able to get into this game quickly. Hopefully I can get some ship battles in using the bigger ships that I have printed out from Printable Scenery. But in the meantime, I'm going to be reading up the rules and trying out this game. Happy gaming! We'll see you next time.